August 24th, 2001. So let me just start off with the show. A reminder, RNA cannot pandemic. We're not worried about RNA pandemics. We're not here to promote fear either, but we do understand that this is a big part of the news cycle and it builds upon what we have been talking about now for several years. So it is Thursday, May 7th, 2026, and you're going to get a perspective here you're not going to get anywhere else, and you're going to get connections you're not going to get anywhere else. Hantavirus, is, with respect to my own archive and my own research, has been remotely on the radar for several years right now because it is something which involves senior people which came to the United States and were put in key positions of U.S. virology and biological weapons research that had a role in COVID-19, and multiple people going all the way back to September 11th, 2001. It's just been this, it's been a pin in the corkboard. It's been there. It's been in the background. Now, I'm like, okay, I don't know if anything will ever come out of that. But if you're talking about Hantavirus right now, if you think this is a real thing, if you want to make any mention of U.S. biological weapons research, you are trapped because you just backed right into my court. The United States brought in Ebola experts from Germany. People who are responsible for intellectual property on the glycoproteins on Ebola and Marburg. Marburg was kind of like how Ebola was discovered, right? All the way back in the 1980s and 1990s. And there was one of the most senior people, the person who was credited with inventing mRNA, Dr. Robert Malone, in the United States of America. He didn't even have the phrase mRNA on his resume until he rewrote it in June of 2021. But a man who was parroted, it was shepherded around. He got on Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson. I'm the inventor of mRNA, the inventor of mRNA. I can speak with authority. This Dr. Robert Malone, who's some sort of agent of India, I think. This Dr. Robert Malone, who only added mRNA when he needed to. Something that's strange considering he said he was an inventor of mRNA vaccines. This Dr. Robert Malone, his network is deeply connected with hantavirus research, whatever that is. Again, I'm not saying that you all we need to be running around and masking and washing your hands all the time right now. All of a sudden, running away from mice and killing mice in your yard. That's not what we're saying here. But and what did it was there's research. There was a research channel that crossed that did something that I can't even believe. One of the articles that they were using as source material regarding this hantavirus outbreak or something connected with this cruise ship was from the freaking Epoch Times, which is Steve Bannon's. Well, it's not that Steve Bannon owns it, but Steve Bannon Network is so wrapped up in the production of the Epoch Times. The Epoch Times, which is, I think it's a British operation. It's hugely pushed in India. It's basically an anti-China, English, UK, fake populist magazine. And as soon as I saw them pushing it, and I know that they were one of the biggest supporters of this fake Robert Malone, I'm like, okay, now game on. Because I was introduced to Hantavirus in my research and my analysis and my archival by a peer, one of the most important peers of Robert Malone, and one of the names that people should know with respect to COVID-19, but most people run away from, is Dr. Heinz Feldman, Heinz, last name Feldmann. Now, there are some people who are extremely fraudulent, worthless actors who are paid by Steve Bannon and others, okay, who have actually suggested that it's the same guy who is somehow connected with Ukraine, and that's an absolute total lie. They're different ages, they're different people, because you have a whole photographic history of the Dr. Heinz Feldman, PhD, who became the scientific director of RML, the Rocky Mountain Laboratory in Canada, along with his wife, Friederike Feldman, also from Germany. And there's a full photographic record. You can go through all the white papers. So whoever says that this Feldman is connected with other people, they're lying. They're wrong. They don't have the record. They don't have the evidence. They don't have the archive. They just say things to mislead you because they, too, of course, are in fake lawsuits with Robert Malone and protect Robert Malone, even though that kills people. They work against you. Anyways, I guess that the drugs are good, and that's what keeps them going. So here we are. Hantavirus is back in the news. So there was one really wild data point, okay, where Hantavirus came back into the news kind of sort of a year or so ago. I'm going to put my chat window up here, at least over here. You won't see it on the screen, but at least over here on the on this screen over here. Fletch. Yeah, and I'll cover the Epoch Times and their mention of it. The music is from the band, yes. It absolutely did. We are doing round 2. We have to. We have to do round 2 here. We have to do it while the content is hot. About a year or so ago, Hantavirus popped up in the news. Again, I'm not agreeing with the full narrative, but Hantavirus is news. Do you remember there's not many people here because censored channels, by definition, are censored. A censored channel that's actually watched by the highest levels of national security, which mine is. I know because I can see my language and my content reused elsewhere and diluted. There's not many people that get the reaction that I do. So you can't have 100,000 subscribers or millions of subscribers and say you're censored. You can't. It's one or the other, okay? Bingo! Tazik is on it. Tazik, thank you. Tazik is 100% right. It was Gene Hackman's wife. Now, I'm familiar. I think many people would say Gene Hackman was a very solid actor. I had no idea who he was married to. Not my business. Gene Hackman he was in his later years. His passing was, of course, sad, but he had, I believe, a good full life. So let's go to Wikipedia and Gene Hackman. And Gene Hackman died last year, 2025, and his wife was named Betsy Arakawa. Now, Betsy Arakawa, I didn't know her last name. She was born in Hawaii. She performed at the Honolulu Symphony Orchestra at the age of 11. I guess she was musically talented. She met Gene Hackman in the 1980s, married him in 1991. In 2001, she co-founded a linens company and home furnishings company in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where she and Hackman live. The couple were also business partners in a local Asian restaurant. She was found dead with her husband, Gene Hackman, and one of their 3 dogs at their home on February, so a little over a year ago, February 26th of 2025. This led to an investigation that showed that she died from hantavirus pulmonary syndrome around February 12th, about a week before Hackman. And she was only 65 years old. I don't know how she got this. What is really going on here? So she was the sole caregiver of Gene Hackman. Now I'm curious as to what other connections she had, where else she worked. This is so her mother's still alive. She was 91. Stated that she experienced great emotional distress. That's strange. So her mother's still alive, but she died Arakawa, and she was only 65 years old. And they died they lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Santa Fe, New Mexico. I've never been to New Mexico. I hope to go someday. But let's open up the map here. Santa Fe, city of Santa Fe, New Mexico. Go over to the maps. And I think it's the most populous city, or it's second most in New Mexico. If you zoom out a little bit, I know it's hard to see these very thin lines on your device. I wish they gave some options to change the line dash width. But there's only one point in the United States where you could with 1 foot or a hand, I guess, you could be technically, because of the way these imaginary lines are drawn, in 4 states at the same time. They call it the 4 points, and that is right here. It is you can be in Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona all at the same time. All at the same time, you can be in these 4 places, and you'll notice the physical spot, which I guess is near this Route 40, the Four Corners Monument. I said 4 points, sorry, is right there. You can be in all 4 states at the same time, and that is really not too far from Santa Fe. I'm not showing you this map to say that there was virus spread from there to Santa Fe. I am showing you is that there is a general regional proximity from Santa Fe to this 4 points, to this 4 corners. Gene Hackman and Gene Hackman's wife dying in Santa Fe, and there's the statement that it was Hantavirus. Okay, now this paper here, this is a handle on hantaviruses. This was in Science Magazine, the American Academy of Sciences. A handle on hantaviruses. Long-sought animal model offers a chance to study drugs and vaccines. I went over this one earlier. I'm going to go over it again in a little bit. But it does talk about the hantavirus family grabbed worldwide headlines in 1993 when an outbreak occurred in the Four Corners area in the southwestern United States. The culprit, now called sin nombre virus, is one of several hantaviruses that causes HPS throughout the Americas. In Europe and Asia, again, this is this is an August 20th something, 2001, just 2 weeks before 9/11 article talking about hantavirus. Here we are again. And yeah, they make mention that the U.S. military has a keen interest in developing hantavirus vaccines ever since the first hemorrhagic fever and renal syndrome, HFRS, hit the United Nations, the UN troops. Funny, I have a whole book here about United Nations and United Nations concerns about biological weapons. Just before 9/11, it's a book called Germs that was written by Judith Miller of the New York Times, and it was published on September 9th, 2001, and extensively interviews Joshua Lederberg, talks about the Human Genome Project, and about the possibility of DNA vaccines for the United States military, should the United States military have to take an experimental DNA vaccine for anthrax or smallpox in the event of a biological attack in a major U.S. metropolitan center, or if they need to go to war against an adversary that is known to have biological weapons. So here we are. We have this article from 2001. Now, the stuff that I have from Mrs. Husatonic, who sends me some very interesting stuff. She keeps me up to speed on some things related to like this hantavirus here. Is it going to make me log in? Gosh darn it. I don't want to log in. Continue with... No, I don't want to use my phone. No. Let's see here. Continue with Google. Drag the slider to fit the pieces into the puzzle. What? Okay, so now I'm like solving puzzles to prove I'm not AI. Oh, no. Oh, come on. It wants me to make a whole account and everything. Let's see here. Can I just view it? Which machine can I use now? I can't share TikToks because you know why? Because one is I lost my TikTok account, and I'm trying to reduce all of these accounts on these platforms. It sucks because sometimes you just want to view something when someone sends something to you. You don't have to log in and give them your social security number, your date of birth, your favorite color, what foods constipate you. You just want to watch a video. Right. So I'm not going to be able to view that on there. What? Now I'm trying to think of which platform I can view this on without having to log in. Can I view it over here? That would be nice. You know what? That's going to be Safari. No, is it going to? Yep, it's not going to let me log in. Gosh darn it. Okay, you know what? Let's just do this the hard way. Let's do it the manual way. You'll have to take my word for it that there's several TikTok accounts right now which are rapidly gaining a bunch of viewers because they're talking about Hantavirus. And one of them just shared an article. And maybe I should give you a little backstory about what this whole story is about, why this is coming, why many people are talking about this right now. Epoch Times, Hantavirus. Oh my goodness. Am I going to play it down here?
We're not just a story. We're Hondias. I am currently on board the MV Hondias. And what's happening right now is very real.
This is from 3 days ago.
Not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families.
Okay, this is so fake. I'm sorry. This is remarkably fake. So there's a guy who's some type of bird science enthusiast, and he is one of several people, 100-something or so people that are on a cruise, and it is a cruise which I think a lot of people, if they had the means, would love to go on. They're visiting a lot of islands that are lightly populated or unpopulated around the Atlantic Ocean. It started off somewhere in Argentina, and they're visiting like lesser or uninhabited places. They're able to do bird watching, this is not a Carnival cruise ship. This is a cruise ship with like 150 to 200 passengers, maybe most staff. I mean, it's a big operation, and these tickets have got to cost a pretty penny. I don't even know how much they could be, but this. You can get deals, so I hear, if you go to like the big cruise ships, because they expect people to spend money on gambling and stuff like that. But when it comes to these types of cruises, it's a very different story. And it's been said that there was an elderly fellow on this ship, on this cruise, and it's a much longer cruise, who was sick and died on the boat, and that at one of the port locations in the Atlantic, He got off the boat with his wife. He's a senior man. And then they traveled back to Europe, and then she died. And they're testing positive for hantavirus. And now there's all of these TikTok videos where they're doing all of their internet sleuthing. They're trying to crowdsource the breadcrumbs which are given to you by the government, right? It's like, wow, look at all these breadcrumbs that come from the news agencies that are paid by the people who we're trying to expose. Doesn't make any sense. You can't do it like that. So they're leading people down a new mystery, and they're making their timelines about when people got on the boat and got off the boat, and who took a photo of what type of bird, where, and when. And I guess this guy here. I guess he's American. I don't know. He has like a few 100,000 followers. He got on the boat, and I swear, this again. Sometimes you just have to accept it for what it is. Okay. On April 1st, he did a video saying, "Hey, everyone, I want everyone to know I'm doing great." And everyone thumbs up with no context whatsoever. And now somebody died, and then they're trying to keep the ship out at sea or something like that because they're afraid of hantavirus. And now they're looking at like 30 people that got off the boat like a couple of weeks ago, and some are in Australia, some are in the United States. I'm not going to drag you down the journey of trying to understand, where Mrs. Johnson got on the boat and where Larry Stevens got off the boat and who shared a napkin at the snack shack. I don't care. You're not, because it's COVID all over again. Before you know it, you're going to have a UN NATO bicyclist, Virginia Benassi, scooting through with Scooby-Doo on the back and Cat in the Hat, and it's going to the big brown bear, blue bull, beautiful hat boom, blowing bubbles, biking backwards, bumping black bugs, hantavirus thing, and you're not going to get anywhere. You can't solve that mystery. You're never going to be, no matter how many times you watch the movie Contagion, and it's going to give you the hope that, oh my goodness, they're going to leave the clues out for you, and you're going to figure out, when, Gwyneth Paltrow stuck her finger in the pig's mouth after it ate some bat poop or whatever. You're never going to figure it out. And every time you try to do this mystery, you are merely reinforcing the existence of some type of pandemic that can go from person to person. And I'm not going to do that to you. What I will show you, though, is that it is a major five-alarm fire red flag that Epoch Times is now on board the cruise telling you the play-by-play. Because Epoch Times also promoted Li Meng-yen. Epoch Times also promoted Robert Malone. Epoch Times also promoted Judy Mikovits. And if you're talking Robert Malone and Li Meng-yen and Judy Mikovits all being promoted by Epoch Times, well, guess what? All three of those people are connected to the scientist that came from Germany and studied hantavirus all the way back in 1993, Heinz Feldman. And this article here, coinky-dinky enough, from 2 weeks before 9/11, is talking about Heinz Feldman and his excitement about hantavirus, how he's impressed with it, and about the ability of potentially making a new era of vaccines. Wow. That's strange because Heinz Feldman, longtime collaborator of his, Robert Malone, just happened to be the inventor of mRNA vaccines, as revealed on his updated resume on June of 2021. Now, in all fairness, he has been involved in genetic vaccines for ages. As a matter of fact, the Indian-Israeli Inder Verma, who he was working for, is the person that Robert Malone ran cover for with respect to working with the New York Times in 1999 and the year in 2000 regarding the completely unexpected and unnecessary death of Jesse Gelsinger from experimental gene therapy procedure. And my goodness, that should make you wonder, because I believe some of the plasmid technology that they were working on is from the Indian-owned, Indian-started Vical Corporation, VICAL, that no one will ever mention. that made plasmids, the same plasmids that were used by Daryl Galloway, who also worked on Hantavirus. And Daryl Galloway was, a matter of fact, leading the DNA vaccine research at in Columbus, Ohio, and one of the buildings that was owned and probably named by Les Wexner. Again, you can read those articles around the fall of 2001. So this Hantavirus nonsense is going to connect right back in with the very same gosh darn Robert Malone network that you will see connected with Ebola, Hollywood movies, and anthrax vaccines, DNA anthrax vaccines, the death of Jesse Gelsinger, Zika virus outbreak, Lyme disease, and of course, COVID vaccines, in particular DNA vaccines, adenovirus vaccines, an extensive amount of research in India. Sorry, we're here again. And the reason why we're still here is because apparently, I want someone to prove me wrong. Show me that Robert Malone isn't connected in with this. But they can't, because the order right now is to say, oh, I'm sick. Oh, I'm sick. You got to work on my health. Me and Carol. Your health comes first. I'm sick. I'm so sick. And you got to claim, you were hit by a bioweapon or some bullshit? No, the reason why Ian Carroll's quitting is because he's not working for any good reason. He is so committed to the truth that he won't even talk about the opioid epidemic. That's how committed Ian Carroll is to the truth. Oh, I'm sick. I'm sick. Oh, got to look out for your health. I'm sick. He's got nothing to fight for. He's got no greater truth. Can't even talk about the opioid epidemic because he's not supposed to. Because that would expose, wow, man, this Epstein thing, yeah, bad, survivors and all, but holy cow, 1 million dead in the drug epidemic, and they used the numbers to suggest we had a deadly novel COVID virus? Wow. That crushes any need to put Epstein at the top of the list. And Ian Carroll's job is to not do that. I'm sick. Lost weight. I've lost weight. I'm sick. I'm sure he's a good guy, but man, he's young, and I don't think it's really hit home with Ian Carroll that, when you mislead people and you chew up cycles online, when you say you have some sort of greater truth and you're not allow people to see the most important things, you are part of facilitating death. I'm sick. I can't make videos anymore. I have to promote the redheaded girl. I'm sick. So here we are. Oh, yeah, Ian Carroll, Candace Owens, Robert Malone. And then we're right back into that nonsense. A new break, PCRitis. Yeah, I'll play this video again, Balverine. Let's listen to. I mean, come on. Look, this is hilarious. Okay, come on. Unfortunately, every time I hit restart, it goes back to mute.
And what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. I wish. It always goes back to me. With people waiting for us at home. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part.
Oh, sorry, I don't have it.
All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home. So if you're seeing coverage about this, just remember that there are real people behind it, and that this isn't something happening somewhere far away.
He had to do cuts, by the way. I can tell. I saw a video cut in there.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home. So if you're seeing coverage about this, just remember that there are real people behind it, and that this isn't something happening somewhere far away. It's happening to us right now. I'll share more when I can, but for now, I just ask for your kindness and understanding. Thank you.
You know, I don't mean to be a jerk, but 3 days ago, someone just down the street from me died falling off the roof. Roofer did. No national news on that. A lot of people die every day doing tough jobs. No one's seeing no national news. I mean, I don't mean to be cold or something, but really, why this? Why this? And I know I'm feeding it, but I'm not really feeding it. I'm feeding it by being mad that it's even happening. Hantavirus. It's unbelievable. And again, I wish I could play the TikTok videos. You know, I created a dummy account on TikTok, and I have no idea where the login information is. I don't want to spend too much more time looking at it right here. A new outbreak of PCRitis. Best viewers. What the heck? More viewers. Let's see here. What else did we have here? So I did cover this earlier. The Four Corners where it broke out. World Health Organization has just spoke about it. I wonder if they have a video out right now. That's right. The World Health Organization has just announced that hantavirus is a real thing. Let's just play that into the video log here. WHO hantavirus. Let's cue this up. I believe this is from 9 hours ago. I'm not going to play an hour 45 minutes. It's stupid.
So far, 8 cases have been reported, including 3 deaths. 5 of the 8 cases have been confirmed as hantavirus, and the other 3 are suspected.
Executive Director for WHO's Health Emergency Program. And last but not
WHO is aware of reports of other people with symptoms who may have had contact with one of the passengers. In each case, we're in close contact with the relevant authorities.
And let's say, even if you do allow for the whole RNA pandemic thing, okay, someone has hantavirus. It gets the hantavirus. Most things which don't actually exist, by the way, start with the. You know, like you wouldn't tell someone, hey, watch out for the bear. You know, you'd say, don't get attacked by bears. You know, it's just. Anyways, let's say there is this hantavirus. A virus doesn't just kill you. Okay, a virus would cause complications, such as maybe you have a hard time breathing, maybe your body temperature goes up too long, maybe you have your muscles don't function right. Something, it's going to cause problems. It's a virus is not a bomb that just blows you up like a headshot on Call of Duty. It causes problems. So let's say someone has the hantavirus, and will that make someone sick? Well, what's it causing? Fast heart rate. What are the problems? And then you can address those things one by one. And this is another part of this mythology. Oh, you got the COVID. Well, you're going to die. I'm like, well, why? Because COVID is lethal. Well, why is it lethal? What does it do? What does it cause? You address symptoms. If you have a bad skin infection, you just don't say, well, you give up. You take the proper antibiotics, and you deal with whatever other the side effects are. You mitigate those things. It's like, it doesn't matter if you get stabbed in the leg with a flathead screwdriver or Phillips head screwdriver, it don't matter. You need to remove the metal and deal with the wound. It's not like, well, holy shit, he just got stabbed with a hex driver. Ooh, we need a whole new solution for this. No, you don't. A stabbing is a stabbing is a stabbing. Okay? So this whole, well, it really matters exactly what strain of hantavirus is. No, it doesn't. If you have an injury, you deal with the injury. Wow, that was a number 3, Phillips. Could have been a number 2. Like, come on. So this is more of the mythology, and the more this is spoken about, the more it merely reinforces the mythology. Instead, if there were any citizen journalists out there with big, big balls that actually functioned, you would be, again, saying, well, let's go back. Hey, yeah, that's right. Robert Malone only gave 2 people 4-hour interviews. Candace Owens, Joe Rogan. Candace Owens and Joe Rogan. Let's see here. Let's see here. Who else supported Candace Owens and Joe Rogan? Well, let's see here. As a matter of fact, I can answer that question. Okay, let's go to M.A.R. Roshan. Okay. And this is just going to fall apart really fast here. Candace Owens. Wow. Okay. So, here is this is 2025, The Hollywood Reporter, about Harvey Weinstein's last stand. You know Harvey Weinstein, the movie guy. The former Hollywood movie mogul's legal team is betting that the current climate around the Me Too will play into their client's favor this time around. Now, remember, he's now being spoken of, Harvey Weinstein, as a victim by Candace Owens and Joe Rogan. And here, Candace Owens and Joe Rogan are sort of viewed as favorable in their willingness to support Harvey Weinstein. As a matter of fact, there's only the longest interviews of Harvey Weinstein over the last 10 years have been Candace Owens and I think it was Mayor Roshan, and someone connected in with that's right, Talk Magazine and Radar Magazine, Radar Online. And Mayor Roshan is a Jewish Iranian who happened to co-own Radar Magazine with Jeffrey Epstein. And that's right, the other person who owned Radar Magazine Online was, that's right, it was one of the sons of Jesse Jackson. It was, I can't think of the guy's name right now. The pallbearer of Mark Weiner. Mark Weiner, whose daughter started a company with Candace Owens. Now, this may seem a little bit off the beaten path here, but I want to highlight that the United States right now has just entered into this very weird war with Iran, I think mostly for the benefit of India, or it's a proxy war that's against India, and I'm not really sure. Because all of this narrative control seems to be popping up out of India and Jewish Iranian ties. Hollywood Reporter, matter of fact, is now owned by Mayor Roshan, who was the primary editor of Radar Online when it was owned by Jeffrey Epstein and Yusef Jackson, the son of Jesse Jackson. And it was another son of Jesse Jackson who was involved with the governor of Illinois, Blagojevich, regarding some conspiracy about selling access to be the next ambassador to India after, which was somehow tied in with the illegal alleged sale of the Senate seat of Barack Obama after he was elected president. Blagojevich went to jail for that. They said it was something to do with the Senate seat, but I think in reality it was access to the ambassador to India seat. So this hantavirus noise, I suspect,
given the incubation
given the
period
fact that
the
Epoch Times gets a lot of its support straight out of India, I think it basically speaks for India. And if you look at the people that it supports, such as the agent of India, Robert Malone, I think you're going to see that there is an India connection to this. I think it's about creating more nonsense against the United States somehow, more turmoil, more distraction, and the Epoch Times stuff ties in very nicely to it. You're probably going to see hantavirus pop up in some relation to Syria. because of, I guess, there's some type of Syrian mice which spread the hantavirus. And, of course, you'll see there'll be an Israeli soldier who will be dragging around a cross and doing nasty things with, a Virgin Mary. And this is what the Israelis do, the media will say, Tucker Carlson, and will be all over it, so to say, just magnifying how incredible it is that this video was caught yet again and is now going viral. But they won't say the other side of the story, and then they'll probably have, Candace Owens and Robert Malone on again to say just how awful Trump is. And I don't even have to. I don't support Trump right now at all. But it's just magnificent how these people are just spending all their time trying to polarize people, against one particular person. Anyways, hantavirus. I don't think you have to worry about it, but what we need to do is we need to archive a few more things, and I will tell you it's going to come right back around into the Robert Malone camp. It's going to come into the Robert Malone camp. Steve Bannon, some UN pro-UN angle, and the extended Robert Malone network. Look at the people that Malone has interviewed. It's not that he controls them, but they are somehow looped into this same grouping of people. And the hantavirus itself, Four Corners, consider the recent death of Hackman and his wife. Now I wonder if his wife is really dead, or if that whole thing was just hoaxed out, so to say, kirking out, maybe, just to get it into the news cycle a few months ago. Right out near Santa Fe, not too far from the Four Corners, where the longtime Robert Malone associate, Heinz Feldman, whose employee is the only person and the first person to take a photograph of the SARS-CoV-2 in early 2020, Emily DeWitt. Heinz Feldman came to the United States to do that hantavirus investigation, as reported in Science magazine just 2 weeks before 9/11. And, of course, we've already discussed the Robert Malone, September 11th, 2001, Winberg Cancer Research Center connections with you as well, where coincidentally he was setting up that Cancer Research Center with the legal support of a man named Richard Verma, who also coincidentally went on to become the United States ambassador to India. Just crazy little factoid right there. All right, guys, thank you very much. There's the urgent update. That's a lot of data, but there's no way out. And I'm just gonna keep on going because I'm not sick. I don't have the Ian Carroll sickness. I'm not sick. I'm very tired. I'm very tired. I need that redheaded girl who had like no followers a year ago and now has like 1 billion followers. She's the new expert. I'm Ian Carroll. I'm very sick. Very sick. No, I'm Mark Kulak, and I'm swinging hard tonight. Love you guys very much. God bless.